YouTube reviewer of New England brews. Welcome back. When I did my visit to the Keene Brewfest a couple of videos back, I did a series of short 30-second snippets of reviews. And one of the beers I reviewed as part of that was the Shipyard Monkey Fist IPA out of Portland, Maine. I decided though today I'd like to do a real proper review, a more thorough review than the little 30-second snippet I did at that time. It was an impressive beer then. I'm hoping it's going to be an impressive beer now. The Shipyard Monkey Fist IPA first came out in February 2012. The ABV on this is 6.9% ABV. It is an English style IPA as opposed to an American style IPA. And the main difference between English and American style IPAs is that the English style, the hops are more subtle, more laid back, more kind of at the end of the beer, whereas the American IPA comes across as much more pungent, much more bitter, a real strong hoppy sensation. So I'm going to check this right out. And as you can see, there's a very interesting little label. Monkey Fist is the name of the beer from Shipyard. So let me take off the bottle cap and pour it into the glass. Give it a pour into my Shipyard glass. Not the big glug glug sound that you usually get with these kind of large bomber bottles, but still kind of nice. There it is. And the color on this is actually a pleasant looking copper amber color with good carbonation and a decent sized head. So anyway, I'm going to give it a whiff now and see what it's like. Okay. Now, as I mentioned at the outset, English style IPAs are much more subtle than American style IPAs. And one of the things that Shipyard is saying in their description is they're calling this, this is the genesis of a new generation of IPA. The traditional elements of a classic English IPA have been redefined by American craft beer innovation. Translated, what that means to me with the aroma is that we're getting a slightly more hoppy up front than you normally would in an English IPA, say a Fuller's Bengal Lancer or something like that. So, but it's still somewhat subtle compared to some American IPAs, which are really in-your-face IPA hoppy sometimes. But this is more of a pleasant hoppy aroma that's offset a bit by a bit of malts. The malts are, there's a hint of caramel, there's a hint of wheat. They do use wheat malts as one of the 5 malts they use for this, and there are 3 hops in this brew. So overall, the aroma is actually quite enticing. Let's check out the taste. Well, the body is medium to bold, I would say, somewhere in that ballpark. And the flavor is a little more upfront hoppy than most English IPAs. I am getting a touch of the caramel malts and a touch of the wheat, which they do brew with. And but I would say that the body is in the medium to bold range. It is refreshing. It's a pleasant IPA. It does tend to lean more American than English. So I guess, as they said, a genesis of a new version, or whatever the words they used were. It really is trying to kind of take the best of both worlds and put them into a single beer, which would mean the bitter hoppiness of an American style and the slight caramel and sweetness of an English style. So it's actually a pretty good beer. A very refreshing beer, and a beer that I think even hopheads might like it. Those who are not as big fans of hops might like this as well. It's fairly well balanced. There is a decent bitterness though coming up on the tail. Doesn't end very dry, but it does linger. The taste definitely does linger on the palate. So it's not a bad beer at all, I must say. I'm actually pretty happy with this beer. I'm glad I gave it a full regular review as opposed to the little 30-second snippet I did. and that is the Shipyard Monkey Fist IPA. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.